Hi there, this is Niki Rowland. I'm making a layout today for Spiegel Mom Scraps using the absolutely gorgeous Rose Gold Glory sequin set that is new to the store. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm using a cut file by Virginia Walker. It was a freebie that I downloaded, one that she gave away for free on her Facebook group, so head over there and grab some free cut files. She has some amazing cut files in her shop as well. So what I've done is I've cut it out of a pattern paper. I used a really crazy bright coloured paper that had lots of different colours on. It's a Paige Evans one, and I've also cut the outline in just a light pink cardstock. So I actually cut the cardstock outline first and then realised that backfilling all of those stars were going to kill me. So I then cut the outline only, or the full background only, so without the middle sections effectively, from this piece of patterned paper, so that I could simply stick on the pink outline on top. However, I'd already used a part of this pattern paper, and therefore I didn't quite manage to fill all of the stars. There's two there that are not filled, and one little part or point of another one. You can see my background paper there that I've really cut out of already, so I was had to be clever with the cutting machine to make sure that I got most of the cut file in, but there was one little section that I couldn't quite fit. So from the rest of those scraps, I'm just going to fill in those other two stars and the half a star. So I'm now just sticking my white background to the gutted frame of that piece of paper. There it is. It's so pretty, isn't it? It's so pretty mounted on that with the colours behind it, and then with the pink pattern outline. So I'm going to create a really large title to the right of my photos. My photos are going to sit within that beautiful star strip there, and I'm going to add that fearless title there. It's a perspective, acrylic word by Bramblefox. They're in the UK and they have really awesome perspectives, and I'm going to make a long title. I've found a quote that's perfect for these photos, and I want to use the word fearless as part of the title, and you'll see me add a whole bunch of letters later. So I'm just kind of working out where everything's going to sit, and make sure I have got enough room for that title. I had all these stars left over from the background paper that I cut, and I just wanted to see if any of those could be used on the background of the layout. That was why I initially cut them, but it didn't look right. I love the star like spray part of the cut file, and I don't think it needs any more stars on it. So I'm just using those stars to backfill those final two stars that are that I missed off when I cut the background. That was way quicker just to mount those two than it was to do all of them, so I'm pleased that this was the way forward, and because it's a piece of paper with lots of different patterns on, it looks like I've backfilled all those stars individually with different colours. So total cheat, but awesome, you know. Anyway, so I am now raising up my cut file on foam pads. I like to have lots of dimension on my layouts rather than have things stuck flat, so that's what I'm doing there. I'm just cutting up some of the bigger foam pads to fit within the small stars, and just pulling all the backs off there, obviously, and then I'm going to get that stuck down. Now this works well because I've only got foam risers in the middle of each star, which means I can still tuck things underneath the corners of the stars, and I can get my photos in there. There you go, and I still have lots of lovely dimension. So just getting my photos stuck in place. I'm not using any extra pattern paper behind my photos. I normally do, but on this occasion, because the star spray is so busy, I wanted to keep things less busy, so not introduce any more papers. I'm now going through and adding that amazing Rose Gold Glory sequin set that's new to the Spiegel Mom Scraps Store. It is a little bag full of happiness. It's full of glittery sequins and beautiful sequins and shiny ones, and it's just absolutely gorgeous in that beautiful colour rose gold that we're all absolutely in love with. So I have just sprinkled those over. I've been quite generous with them. I wanted to use lots on the layout, but I didn't want to detract too much from the stars, so I wanted them to complement the stars rather than overpower them, which is what I feel like I've achieved there. So I've just literally sprinkled them on top. I haven't stuck them all in place yet, but I will go and stick them all in place at some point. I just want to get my title in place before I do any sticking of the sequins, just so I don't have a random sequin stuck exactly where I need to put a letter, and then I have a blob of glue that I can't get rid of. So I'm just getting my title in place. So my title is going to be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. That's obviously pretty long, so I need to be careful in my font size. I'm planning to use mostly alphabet stickers to do this. Obviously I've used the word fearless, which is a perspective, but all of the others need to be quite small letters. So I've pulled out what I've got quite a few Pink Fresh Studio tiny alphas. You can see those there. I had the Joyful Day ones, which are multicoloured, and I had another set in the turquoise. They're lovely as well, and just slightly bigger than the teeny ones from Pink Fresh Studio. Well, I think those are Pink Fresh Studio as well, but an older collection. I think they're from Simple and Sweet, which is slightly older, and those letters are just slightly bigger. So I'm trying to go, rather than multicoloured, I'm trying to keep each word in the same colour, and just have lots of different coloured words. So sometimes I have completely multicoloured words where all the letters are different colours, but I didn't want to do that on this occasion. I wanted to keep them all in the same colour. So you can see I'm nearly there. I've got my whole title in place. I'm delighted with how that looks and the fact that it fit really nicely, and that's down to my small fonts. Yeah, now I can go ahead and get all those sequins stuck in place. So I need to get that perspective stuck down, and also added a rose gold crown above Be Fearless, because they're photos of my little girl, and she is being fearless. She's rock climbing, and she threw herself up that rock wall with no fear whatsoever, but she's such a princess. So even though she can be sporty and can has this real she's kind of she kind of wants to be a tomboy effectively, but she's just loves dressing up and being pretty. So she went to her birthday party in a beautiful dress, her hair done beautifully, and trainers, and then she's up climbing a rock wall. So that's just typical of my daughter. So the rose gold crown there above just brings in the girly factor, which she really is. So I'm sticking my my sequins down now. So I'm doing my usual trick of using glossy accents, and I'm picking up each sequin with a paper piercing tool, which I've put a little bit of glossy accents on the end, and I have just pull each one out of the way, put a tiny blob of glossy accents, and then move the sequin back into place. So that doesn't take that long actually. It's surprising how quick you can stick those down. So I've gone through and done that pretty quick. There are some really little bits in this mix, but again I use the same technique in order to stick those down, and then at this point I'm shaking the layout to see if there's any sequins that move, i.e. have I missed any when sticking them all down. Of course I have missed some, there's so many of them, so just go back and add some extra blobs of glue in there. So now I'm trying to figure out if I need any extra embellishments on this layout. Of course I do want to have some embellishments, but like I said earlier, the star spray cut file with all those beautiful sequins is quite busy. I've also got a massive title which is quite busy in itself, so therefore I'm going to try to keep my embellishment to a minimum. I've just pulled out a couple of bits of ephemera to add behind the photos. So instead of patterns, they're kind of solid, and they just give a little bit of extra colour behind the photo without being a full photo mount and introducing another colour. I'm going through the Paige Evans Horizon Collection. I've got those lovely puffy words, and I'm just pulling out the ones that work with my layout. and I'm embellishing this layout tone on tone. So where I've got pink in pink stars, I'm putting pink words over the top, and I think I add some more. There we go. Yeah, so I've got one down, a pink one down there as well, plus a butterfly, a couple of pink hearts. And the pink word strips over to the left hand side, and I'm adding some orange ones at the top there as well. So just adding in those little bits and pieces doesn't detract from the layout overall, i.e. doesn't take away from the photos and the beautiful starburst with the sequins, but it does make it a little bit more interesting as well. So I like embellishments, so I thought I would definitely add some, but trying to get the balance right is always difficult, so I'm just trying to make sure that I don't overdo it, which I have been known to do. That is me pretty much done. What I am going to do is add a few flicks of paint here. I'm just using a Shimmers paint, and I've pulled out some of the colour. You can see I've just popped it there on my craft sheet, and I've just added a little bit of water to make it a bit thinner so that I can flick it easily with a paintbrush. So just following the line of the stars there and adding those flicks of paint. And the final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch through all of my alphabet stickers. Not all of them, but the small ones. Not the soul and fire, because they are foam words, whereas all of the others are puffy, and the puffy ones will come off, whereas the foam ones normally stay pretty stuck. So I've just stitched through them, one row of straight stitching on my sewing machine in white thread, and I'm just pulled all the threads through to the back, and I'm just securing those on the back with some tape there. Okay, so other than handwriting in a small amount of journaling, of which I'm trying to find somewhere to put it right now, I am done. So yeah, that was my layout today. The cut file is by Virginia Walker, and you should be able to find it in the Confessions of a Paper Addict store. The sequin set that I've used is called Rose Gold Glory and is so beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. If you place an order through the Spiegel Mom Scraps Store, then make sure you enter code Niki15 for a 15% discount. Thanks very much. See you next time. Bye.